Hi everyone, Claire here, and today I'm going to be altering this Wilkinson's pumpkin, which was £2.50, and I bought this last year at Halloween, and I meant to do this project last year but I never got around to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by priming the whole piece, and I'm going to do that with gesso, and I'm using the Golden brand, and I'm not going to show you me painting the whole thing because you don't need to see that, so I'm going to fast forward through. You just need a little base. It doesn't need to be thick, it doesn't need several coats, just one is fine, just something to take away the blackness and give a good base for your other paint to stick to. Now I'm going to be using some really cheap nasty paint, and it is just in the colour orange. It's the only orange paint that I had, so I don't actually recommend the use of this paint in any project as a top coat. It is pretty awful, to be honest. You need about 12 coats for the stuff to actually get a solid colour, and I believe from editing through this that it was actually 4 coats, and it took me over an hour just to paint the thing. So just make sure that you've got a really nice thick solid base colour for your underneath coat, and this is just obviously because it's pumpkin and I am sort of doing a traditional pumpkin, I've gone for the orange. Now, the other reason why I chose orange is because it goes really well with teal, and I did this project for the Teal Pumpkin project, which is a teal pumpkin denotes houses who give out prizes that aren't food related, and it's safe for children who have food allergies, because children these days are quite intolerant to a lot of things, and it's not just peanuts. So this is to show that you give out toys or other items rather than food, so please be aware of that if you do this project and you do orange and teal. So I've done my loads of layers. You can see how patchy it is, and I'm having to go through and do more and more layers. It's really patchy, but I finally got a nice thick base. So the next step is to take some weathered wood crackle medium, and I'm using the Americana brand. And what I first of all did was I put it on my mat and then tried to paint it on, and you don't want to actually agitate it so much when it's actually on. Try and just put it on and then leave it alone. Don't try and smush it about and make it go further. But I thought, I'm wasting it putting it on the mat because, once you need a thick coating, a semi-thick coating. So I ended up just actually squeezing it on and just moving it about that way. The more that you actually mess with this crackle medium, the less crack you're going to get. So just make sure you just do a thick coating, spread it about evenly, and then move on to your next section. And again, you don't need to see me actually painting the whole thing and leaving it to dry, so I'm going to fast forward on to the next step. So now it's dried, and it does look a bit patchy, but it's fine. I'm using the Americana Indian Turquoise, and I absolutely love this colour. I think it's one of my favourite colours in the whole palette that they actually do. So again, what you need to do is just put it on really thickly and then move on. The more that you agitate the paint once it's on, the more you're going to interfere with the crack, and that's not what you want to happen. If you go over the same spot loads of times and try to build up layers, you're going to get a problem and your crack is just going to disappear. So just remember, put it on thickly right from the start, and don't be tight with your paint, and that's the best option that I can actually give you. I mean, you can actually see in the video already that it is already starting to crack. It is that quick, and it is safe to heat it to dry it quicker with a heat tool, and I find that you do get better cracks if you actually dry it with a heat tool. So I'm going to fast forward on again in a second, but before I do that I'm going to show you a close-up of how the actual paint is cracking already, and you'll be able to see what I mean. You get some absolutely beautiful cracks with this product. I highly recommend the weathered wood crackle medium from Americana, which is Decor Art. And here we go again. I'm going to go through and show you another close-up of the cracking, and you can see how gorgeous that is looking. And the cracks do get a lot bigger once the paint is properly dried and properly cured, so don't worry about it if they're only tiny at the start. Once you move on, they will get bigger and better. Because of the nature of the shape, I needed to do full sweeps the whole length of all of the little bars, so I'm having to heat dry the one side so I can then turn it around and paint the other side. But you can see right in front of your eyes the cracks getting bigger. Just look at that huge crack there, it looks so cool. And the next step, what you need to do is seal your item with a sealer finishing spray. I've used the matte spray, and this is the Americana. And I've just realised I'm using a hell of a lot of Decor Art products in this video, and that was completely not planned at all. So I'm just gonna take it away and seal it. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to add some Honeydew branded mixed media glue and some of their copper flake, and it's a copper moon, this colour, for their metal flake. And I'm going to jazz it all up and make it all a bit shimmery and a bit different. So I'm going to take a paintbrush and I'm going to put out a splodge of the glue on my mat. And make sure you do wash it off your paintbrushes pretty quickly, otherwise you're going to have a problem. And I'm going to carefully paint in all of the circles, and I know I do that one off camera a bit, but I do the next one on camera. Okay, there you go, I'm doing that one on camera, and I'm going to go through and paint in every single circle, which took it didn't take that long, but it took far too long to leave me showing it every single circle on the video. So I'm gonna fast forward through again. I really do love the Honeydew Mixed Media Glue. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not just for doing this effect with, for sticking down foil and metal flake. It's actually really good for sticking down paper to paper as well. And once the two pieces are stuck together in paper or card, that sucker is never coming apart, never. It's also really good for doing sticking down light embellishments as well. I really can't emphasize how good that glue is. It isn't just a one-trick pony like a lot of people think it is. Usually what you'd use is a piece of fat foam, sponge it onto a stamp with it, and then flake over the top. It has so many more uses than that. It's really good. Okay, so we're coming up to the final hurdle of this project, and all in all it took me about 2 hours, but it was mainly because it took so long for that stupid orange paint to dry and I had to do so many coats to get a good orange colour. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the Copper Moon flakes and I'm just rubbing them into the spots where I put the mixed media glue on. I am trying to make sure that I get a bit of copper and a bit of silver, because this is a mixed colour flake, onto each circle. And then I'm just rubbing off the excess with the sponge that comes with the product. So again, I'm going to fast forward through because you don't need to see me do every single circle, but I will let you get an idea of how I'm doing it. I'm doing it, you will notice, over the tub, and that way I'm not losing any flake. And make sure you do this in a room that you don't have air conditioning on, or a window, or breezy, or with animals around, because you know what will happen. The stuff is just going to fly away. And also, if you've actually got a cold when you do this and you're blowing your nose a lot, you will have metal flaked snot, which is quite entertaining for children, but not really if you're an adult. So I'm coming towards the end and every spot has been filled with flakes. So now I'm just getting a big handful wodge and I'm really pressing it into all of the detail on the stem of that pumpkin. You want to make sure that you press the flake really well into the glue, and once you do that it will be pretty much stuck there forever. It's quite difficult to actually take off once it's actually on, but if you do make any mistakes you can take one of the battery operated pencil erasers, and if you use that on the flake it will rub off. It's really quite ingenious how it works, but try it, you can get some really cool effects. And there we have it. That is pretty much the end of my project. So I hope you've really enjoyed making this pumpkin with me, and I will have some high-res photos of it at the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed my project today, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you will like and subscribe to my channel, and I will have some high-res pictures of the pumpkin at the end so you can see the actual colours, because my camera decided not to record the colours as they actually are. Thanks so much. Bye.